What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to be reviewing the Unique Toys Stellar Warrior Kalecgos, their version of Onslaught. This box is gigantic. I don't know why, there's not really a lot up here. I guess his gun's kind of stuck up, but it's just a really big box. But for the box itself, you've got an image of robot mode here, and robot mode here. Sort of some product shots with what you can do with the guns, kind of the three of them together. They're Onslaught with Brawn and not Kazranka. That's Unique Toys name for him, with Swindle, and then all in robot mode, and then the combined mode here. We're going to get it into this mode so we can take a look at how good it is. You can see that this box was pretty damaged on the way, so this is kind of the first time I've gotten something this pretty badly damaged. I did email or contact Baba Bobo on eBay, who sold this to me. Again, I'll put the link to his store in the description. And he offered me a $5 coupon on my next purchase. So if there's anything wrong with the figure, he would probably send me a replacement or a refund of some sort. But because it's just the box, he's not gonna do anything. Unfortunately, this comes from all the way from China, and it gets here pretty quickly. So if you want a collector's condition box, don't order it from China. So here is the figure, and it's pretty darn big. Comes in this clamshell, so just get out of here. It's packaged kind of lengthwise, with the feet folded up, so that's why it takes up so much room. We'll just get this out of the way. And here is his collector's card and instruction manual. Hopefully that instruction manual is better. Let's get his feet folded out here so we can set him up. There he is. So let's take a look at this. You do get the two pieces here. You get the chest plate for Bruticus or Ragnaros. In this case, you also get the crotch plate, which is attached to the back here. Now, I don't like having this here because I don't know. It just gets in the way and doesn't look great. So I'm going to take this off. But you also get this crotch plate here, which folds out. I mean, I like the idea, the thought that they made it collapse in there, but I don't really need it to do that. And then this comes apart, and you can make a bunch of cool little stuff with the foot here. But again, it's one of those things like, do you care? Are you going to do that? Are you going to display it that way? Probably not. So you do get a little bit of articulation here at the waist, so when you're in robot mode, you can do something with this. Actually, does this bend too? Looks like it does, but I don't know. I feel like I'm stressing the plastic there. So we'll leave that alone. Put that off to the side. And here we have the figure. It does not come with a gun. That's I guess one of the drawbacks of this figure. Ooh. Looks like his well, that's not great. His thigh sort of comes apart as you're posing it. You can get it right, you just gotta kind of get it posed. And this guy looks pretty good. Let's get the arms out here. They're sort of stuck in there. I really do like the way the front of the nose of the truck is actually the arms. It kind of looks cool. I don't know if these are meant to be folded up or down. Probably down, I guess. But overall, a pretty cool look for this guy. I haven't seen the Zeta Toys version, but I do like the look of this one a little bit better. There's a lot of the arms are kind of kibbly, honestly, but overall on the back here looks pretty clean. He does have this giant backpack, but this is cartoon accurate. This is how it was. He just had a big backpack. So you can't really use his gun, unfortunately. It's just there. But you could probably borrow one of the other guys' guns, because I think it's one of the two. This guy has a pretty big gun, and let's see. Can we use that? Let's see if this works for him. Oh, he doesn't have the... so his hand doesn't have the round peg, and you can't get this in there, so no, can't do it. Oh well. So you can't borrow the gun from Gazranka here. Unfortunately, it's designed only to work with him, with just Gazranka. And it's okay, you know, I don't mind. It would have been nice if you had some kind of weapon for this guy. No weapons for him. He does have these shoulder-mounted cannons, which are kind of cool. I wonder if this turns into something else in vehicle mode. But those look pretty neat. The arms do feel kind of weird, you know, with this stuff back here. You can sort of fold it out of the way. But they just feel kind of floppy as you're transforming. Things tend to come apart. And there's nothing really holding this on there. And so it tends to just flop apart as you're messing with it. But let's get in and take a look at this guy. You know, he's got a pretty good head sculpt. Nice paint detail all the way around on the legs, on the feet. I remember Bobby saying, you know, this was too much. I think it's fine. I don't think it's too much. I think it goes just fine with the rest of the robot. I can see how he's saying it's a little too much sculpted detail, but I don't care. I think it looks good. Even on the back, it looks pretty good. You know, they got the lights for the back of the truck. Good detail. So overall, this entire set, it's got very good detail on the both vehicle and robot modes, all the way around. So I think they did a good job with that. Now let's take a look at articulation here. So this guy, he's got again a hinged swivel, so his head goes up, but there's something that is forcing it back down, but you can bend the whole panel up and then you can look up if you needed to really look up. You can also look way down if you bend the panel down. So you got plenty of movement there. He does rotate all the way around. Again, he's got the orange light piping. And light piping is not my favorite, but in this instance I think it's okay to have light piping. Because the color is bright enough that it looks good in person. The cannons are not my favorite because I wish you could like bend it forward or have them actually shooting, you know, but you can't, you know, they only bend down. They're either straight or down like this, which doesn't do me any good. So, and they do peg in on the back. The arms are on a ratcheted joint here, and they do go all the way out to here. So very nice articulation. Just got to move this out of the way. I think you can, let's see, what can you do with this thing? There you go. So you can rotate that out of the way if you want to. You do have a swivel? Yes, you do have a swivel at the elbow. It just kind of makes this come apart. Single jointed elbow, but gets past 90 degrees. You have a rotation at the wrist. You have fully articulated hands, so basically 2 joints on each finger, individually articulated. I think. Let's see. These are actually really cool fingers. More companies should do this. They're really like thick and well done. They just feel good. But yeah, overall nice hands on both sides. Obviously the same. This kind of is irritating, the fact that the arms in the back are sort of I don't know. they're just kibbly. You can fold it up or fold it down. It doesn't really get out of the way. So that part's kind of annoying. But getting down to legs, you do have the crotch plate. That is not really for robot mode. These joints are absolutely insane and tight. Oh my god. So you've got a ratcheted joint there, extremely, extremely tight, probably one of the tightest ratchet joints I've seen. I'm kind of afraid to bend it back down. You've got a ratcheted out and a ratcheted down, so... Uh-oh. Feels like it's jammed. Oh my god. It is ridiculously tight. Now there's this other thing here. I think that's so when you get it into robot mode or into combined mode, you can do it, but very, very, very tight. You do have a rotation just above the knee. It does break the sculpt, but it does give you that extra mobility. You do have a 90-degree bend at the knee, ankle tilt, and ankle pivot. Full ankle tilt, full ankle pivot, so as much as you would ever possibly need. So articulation-wise, everything you want. It's got everything. What's really missing from this guy is a weapon. I was trying to figure out a way to maybe get this to fit on somewhere. I don't know. It's not really... You could do something like that. There's nothing really that good that you can do. It would have been nice if this just kind of fit onto the side somewhere or attached as an extra piece, but it doesn't. So you're left with sort of an unarmed dude, but he's pretty menacing even on its own. Let's get in a couple of things for comparison here. So we have Masterpiece Megatron. They're pretty close in size. Megatron's always was one of those weird robots where, right, you had this mass shifting where he went from the small gun to this giant robot. He was bigger than all the other robots. But in terms of size, Kalecgos is just a little bit bigger. And I think that's okay. I think he should be a little bigger. He should be, kind of a big bot. He's a big truck, right? He's a semi-truck. Now, I've seen a real truck that looks like this guy. When we get into vehicle mode, we can actually compare him with other trucks like Optimus Prime and the fire truck. But I think he's actually a pretty good size. I saw a truck like this the other day. Oh, this is cool. He's got some translucent clear plastic stuff here. There's really nice detail on this guy. He's got the orange here, some silver in the middle there. I assume when you open up his chest, I'm not supposed to do that, but there's a little silver there. Some nice details kind of all around on these guys. I'm really impressed. I wasn't sure if I would like unique toys, but I'm really liking this set so far. My only real complaint is scale. Scale is kind of off on all of them. But in terms of size comparison, he does fit in well with the other Masterpiece Decepticons. And here he is with Masterpiece Starscream. Pretty good size, I think so. So that's about it for robot mode. Once again, let's take a look at the instructions real quick, but I have a feeling they're not going to be great. These cards are really good. These look really cool. Although the last two are a little bit better of an animation. This one's kind of weird. Like he's in a weird pose, but I like the cards. They're nice, thick plastic. And here is the instructions. It's actually pretty huge. More like a poster. I don't like poster instructions. I like booklets. You can flip through pages. I hate when it's this much. Here's the parts deposit. Here's what it comes with. That's the waist. Apparently, you can use looks like a different chest piece that comes with blast off, I think. And here's some instructions about combination. Some parts are made to detach if excessive force is applied and are designed to be reattached as separating occurs. Adult supervision may be necessary for younger children. I don't think anyone's giving this to younger children. Let's take a quick height here. To the top of his head, he's about 9 3/4. To the top of his guns, he's about 12 inches, a little under 12 inches. So, pretty big dude. This is a big guy. And let's take a quick weight. I'm expecting he's going to be heavy. Yep, 1 pound 6 ounces. That is a big mamma jamma. So, definitely some die cast, definitely a lot of plastic, a lot of heft on this guy. He feels solid. He doesn't feel like he's going to break at all. This is about the only part that I feel like is kind of weak. Like it just feels like it's falling apart on me. I don't know. It just doesn't feel good. I wish it would like lock into place somehow. I don't see anything that makes it lock into place. It just sort of sits there. But other than that one piece, you know, this back here and then this piece, everything on this feels super solid. Everything tabs in very well. But again, we're going to see how this guy transforms. Obviously, the last two instructions were really, really bad. I'm going to have to follow the instructions for this guy because it looks pretty complicated. The other two were pretty intuitive to get into vehicle mode, and it was pretty easy. You could just figure it out. This one I think is going to be a little more challenging. So, I don't know what this is. Battery mode. What's a battery mode? Looks just like it's a battle station. Maybe they meant. I don't know. So let's get this guy transformed into robot mode, and we'll be right back. I'm not covering any of these transformations. I will take a look at combining them so that you can see kind of how they go together and how stable they are. But in terms of transforming them to vehicle mode, I'm not going to cover that. So we'll get this guy transformed and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back from transforming, and this guy looks really good. I love the way it came together. I was kind of like, it seems panely, but then once I got it, I was like, man, this is really good. It is intuitive. Once you've done it once, it's pretty easy to transform. It just knowing where to pull and where to pull apart panels, that's kind of what you need the first time. There's plenty of rotation here for this to turn, although if you get too big of an angle, the back kind of gets stuck. But there's plenty of articulation there. Now, you can put the tank on the back here, which is probably one of my favorite things here. Is you can get this guy, let's see, this way. Here you go. So you can have him on the back like that. Honestly, if you look at the pictures here, it's got him hanging off the back of the, like that. I don't know. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. I think it looks better the other way. Kind of forward like that. And, he does roll off because, that's kind of what it's, but the color matching and the look of this is just really, really cool. You can angle this thing, this gun upwards now, so now you can actually use the weapon, which is nice. It rotates, so you can kind of have it angled whichever way you want. Oops. You can also have it pointed upwards, which that's what I prefer. So with these two together, it's a really, really good look for it. It just, I don't know, it just screams military. There's nothing to complain about. Now here it is, scaling with a Masterpiece car, Decepticon car, and this looks right. So finally I've got, kind of the right, the wheels are a little bigger. This is what doesn't make any sense. This Jeep, it's just too big. It shouldn't be as big as the semi-truck. It's actually taller. It's bigger than the semi-truck. So looking at the entire thing, I have to say I think the Jeep is the one that's the farthest out of scale compared to the rest of the rest of the set. Because this kind of looks right to me. next to this trailer. These are short, kind of stubby trucks. You know, they're not that tall. So if you put Optimus Prime next to him, he's going to be a lot taller. Here he is with fire truck, or sorry, grapple, not a fire truck, grappling truck. Anyway, that looks pretty good. These are short, stubby trucks. I saw one in real life the other day driving on the highway, military truck. So I think it's about right. You know, it looks good. So this scales well. I think this scales well with the rest of the Masterpiece collection. It really kind of fits in. This is the one that just doesn't fit in. And that's unfortunate, but honestly, it looks better in robot mode, so I'm just going to leave it in robot mode. But this set right here is, I think, what I'm going to have displayed until I have all the entire Bruticus set from Unique Toys. I think I'm going to have this on display. I'm trying to see if does this have another point of articulation? I think there's just one point of articulation, so you can get it up like that, and that looks really good. So that's really it, guys, for this in vehicle modes. The next thing we're going to do is get these guys into their combined modes and take a look at that. Now, I've watched a lot of other reviews, and very few people are actually showing this guy in its combined mode. So we're going to take a look at that, and I'll show you kind of how things fit together, how tight the joints are, you know, what it might look like in fully combined mode. All right, so we'll get this guy. We got to get this guy into his torso mode, which is going to take a little bit. And then we'll be right back. And these guys are pretty much close. They just got to be transformed a little bit to get them into their limb modes. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back in combined mode here. It took a little while to get here. You know, again, the instructions are really, really bad. So you kind of need to, you sort of need to know where things go, and some of the pictures are even wrong. So I'm going to kind of go over a couple of things just to show you how things go together. So first of all, this the chest plate and the waist, the crotch piece here, they're really nice. So it's got its articulation here and articulation there. I think that's just meant so it can be folded away, but you can give it a little bit of a dynamic look. And obviously without that it doesn't look great, but with this it really does come together and it looks good. And then you can kind of give it a little bit of angle for, you know, a little bit of depth, which I like. You know, you can kind of pose it yourself. And then these here sort of bend in, so that's kind of cool. You can kind of get it a little bit not straight, which is cool. You know, they didn't need to include that, but they did. So I really like the chest plate and the crotch piece. They're both well done. Now going to the back here, one thing, I guess I'll take this off and show you guys. So this basically just plugs into the back of the tank. There's a little tab right there that goes into the back of the tank right there, and then all it is just a joint with kind of a quick release tab there. So looking at this foot, this thing is massive, so sorry if it's off camera. So this foot, this one, it just kind of pushes in. So there's just a little hole in the bottom, and you just kind of stick it in there. And that one's pretty easy to do. And by the way, the felt does help. It makes it a lot better. But the other one, and so putting it back in, you can see there's little tabs right there at the end of the thing that's going to go in. And once it's in there, it's pretty solid. You know, it's got a nice solid connection. So let's just get the camera a little bit further back here. And then you can just tab this in, and this is kind of tricky because you can't really see. So you kind of got to line it up and then plug it in, and you got to kind of know where the tab is in order to get it in. Clearly I'm not knowing where it is. And it does slide up and down so you can kind of get it into position, but once you get it, it's pretty solid. It doesn't come out very easily. But this one, the other one is a little bit harder to work with. So this other one, this one's a lot harder. So take this off, and then you can pull this joint out pretty easily. And it's universal, it doesn't matter which one goes into which, so you can put them in either one. Let's see if he'll stand on one foot. There you go. He's probably going to fall. But this one was a lot harder to get in, so I'm not even going to take it out because it was really hard to get in. You had to basically untransform this guy, and then this piece right here was really hard to get up. This is what kind of plugs into the back of this. So this connection is really solid. It's not going anywhere. You basically have to untransform this thing to get it out of there. But it was just kind of a pain to get it in. So that's kind of my only gripe, is getting it into this mode was kind of tough. But once it's there, it's not going anywhere. And a lot of people have said, hey, this is kind of, not that tight. Why didn't they put a ratchet in it? You don't really need a ratchet, honestly. The weight, gravity is going to kind of help this thing stay together, because you've got the weight of this whole leg coming down on this foot. So this one's a little bit different. It's got this peg. Oh, I just hit perfectly. It's got this little peg, and then those go into the bottom of the foot here. Right here. Sorry, I'm trying a new camera mount here, and it's not very stable. So yeah, they go into the bottom of this here. And that, again, they're both secure. They're not going anywhere. It's just getting it there is kind of tough. Actually, kind of hurts your hands to do it. So I think they want you to have this all the way up like that. It's kind of tough to, you really gotta, there we go. Really gotta push it down, and then you can get it kind of flat. Now you can angle these things out. Now the first D10 is pretty far, so you get a really wide stance. So you want to go kind of in one, and that's where that other joint kind of doesn't listen. It sort of does its own thing. So I think it's better to you got to have them even, otherwise the whole thing won't be at the same height. But there you go. You can kind of turn it like that, and all in all, it's a very good looking bot. The head sculpt is really well done. It's actually pretty ingenious the way they had this. They had this kind of folded down and then these pushed in, and the head sculpt itself is really, really nice. And then for storage, they put that all away. But it's a very good head sculpt. It gets a lot of down, a lot of up. Plenty of movement on this head, so they did an excellent job on this head sculpt. It kind of pops up too and pops down. You want it all the way up. So backing back out here, overall this is a very, very good looking. I'm really happy with the way this came out. The feet are definitely good looking, good size. The torso seems, or maybe it's the head, seems a little small, honestly, but overall, I really like the look of this thing. I'm definitely excited to see how this comes together with the arms. You know, when they get Blastoff and Whirlblade or whatever his name is out. I think that's going to be a really good looking combination. I forgot to mention these knee covers here. They do really look good, and they were they present? Yeah, I think they were present in the robot mode for Onslaught too. So they're really nice looking. They got a little translucent piece of plastic on top there. So all in all, a very nice piece here all together. The back it's basically the same, except you extend these up for see so one is, this is how it is in robot mode, this is how it's in combined mode, which is smart, you know, to make it look good. And then down on the legs look really good too. On the back, you know, they're pretty clean. You got these wheels sticking out, but I think it actually looks kind of cool, you know. So everything mounts on here, and we're ready for it to receive the arms. We've got them right here. We just don't have the bots yet, but it's got a really strong joint here. It was very hard to get it up and move it like that. So I'm thinking this is going to be really stable, a really stable bot. Sorry guys, one thing we forgot to do is measure the damn thing. So let's take a look. So to the top of his head, 18 inches. To the top of his cannons, 19.5 inches. So it's bigger than Commander Wars Devastator. Let's take a look. Let's bring in Commander Wars Devastator here. So just a tad bit bigger. I would say maybe an inch or two. Not much, maybe an inch taller than Combiner Wars Devastator or Unite Wars Devastator. So a really good size. I think he fits in well with the Titan class Transformers. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's take a weight too. Since we have him all armed up with everything on, the shoes. Let's see how he looks in weight. So we've got 2 pounds, 15.5 ounces, or 1,345 grams. So that's a hefty guy. He's good. I mean, he's not like unbelievably hefty, but he's a good size, good weight. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for leave any comments if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.